tell us, if I say start off, tell us your story. Tell us what happened to you in the first place.
Right, in 1985, when I was 31, I was going about my daily work. A car pulled out in front of me, and I swerved to avoid it, and I ended up in a ditch where I ended up breaking my neck. From there, the air ambulance took me to Stoke Mandeville Hospital, and they didn't think I'd make the night. So at the time, my parents were at my aunt's in Bournemouth on holiday. So my brother had to drive down to pick them up, to bring them to Stoke Mandeville, just so that they were with me. I spent quite a long time in Stoke Mandeville, which I recuperated quite well. I had to be, I had a brace put into my head which goes right into the skull, and they put me with 10-pound weights off the back of my head, and I laid in bed for about 6 weeks, not being able to move. I gradually gained a bit of movement, and in 1986 I actually walked out of Stoke Mandeville. Not brilliantly, but I managed to walk, and then from there I actually helped with the Spinal Injuries Association at the time. They didn't have a Spinal Injuries Association where I lived in Maidstone in Kent. So I formed a Spinal Injuries Association, and I was chairman there for many years, and I also ran a little local charity called Hands, where I was able to take people to and fro to meet their relatives that probably may be in a nursing home and they couldn't get there because they couldn't drive. I used to take people shopping and things like that.
And so you've been in a position where you've had this appalling road accident, which could happen to any of us at any time, and then suddenly there you were mobile, and then suddenly life took a very unfair turn for the worse, didn't it?
It did, yes. I was doing quite well, and I was bobbing about and doing my own thing and being able to go to the gym and swimming, trying to get better all the time. And then all of a sudden, I had a bad fall, and I was black and blue, didn't know what the problem was, went to the doctors, and they said it was just because you've had a very bad fall, you will get better because of how you are with your spinal injuries. But I never actually got any better, and then I was getting worse and worse, and I thought this couldn't be right, so I got in touch with Stoke Mandeville Hospital, and they decided to do an MRI scan, and they found that I had a benign, fortunately, tumour on the spine. So I had to go through the same sort of thing again, but I didn't really get as good as I was before. So whereas I was managed to walk quite well, I had an old sort of NHS wheelchair, which are really heavy, and I couldn't push it. So for like 3 years, I didn't realise, this was in 2007, 2008, that I couldn't get out the house until 2011, when I managed to get in touch with Aspire, because I found out about Aspire, and they said they may be able to help me through funding. And so I went down that road, and they said they'd try and do everything they could. And they said if the funds are there, then they would obviously be able to help me. So fortunately, they did. And since last year, I've actually been able to get out of the house and do my own thing.
Which is fantastic, because for 3 years, as you say, you were housebound. And it's a bit like if any of you have seen those amazing cycles that you know, the sort of the Chris Hoys of this world have, where you can almost lift them up with a finger. The lightness of these wheelchairs, I mean, that's why they are expensive, but the lightness of them just transforms people's lives. I mean, there's a racing one there that you can see, which you could almost pick up with one finger. But these make such an unbelievable difference from the ones that perhaps a lot of you are aware of. And that is why, you know, that's why we're here tonight, fundamentally, to get things as simple. You might think as simple as a wheelchair, but what it does is I mean, quantify. Can you quantify how it's changed your life?
Oh, it's totally. I mean, for 3 years, even my partner, I mean, he had to look after me totally. But because now I can do what I used to do before, I can actually go out on my own, which is really good, and I can do lots of things which I couldn't do before, much the same as yourselves. But I've just got the chairs instead of the the legs, so to speak.
But listen, you know, without sort of banging the drum too much, without Aspire, things might not be quite so rosy. So you,
oh,
you know,
no way. No, I can't thank them enough. I don't know what I would have done.
Well, listen, thank you very much for coming up tonight,
No.
to tell us your story. But you are one of many people who've benefited in that way.
Oh,
but it's great to actually see the reality of what we do tonight.
Oh,
the reality is that Glenda's life has changed.
Totally.
So, and there are many, many more people like her that you can help during the course of the evening. Thank you very much. Glenda, thank you.